This is Survivor.
100%.
It's always Survivor, Jack.
It's a red hot chili Survivor house. And I just live there.
Can you imagine Jackie on that show just trying to get immunity? Like, what I got, you got to get it, put it in. Just fucking stealing people's rice and shit.
Yeah. That would be fucking awesome.
I know it's not naked and afraid, but I don't care.
Yeah. But I'm going to be naked and you're going to be afraid.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours with Jackie and Johnny, everybody.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Tyler Boissonneau.
You're goddamn right he is. Ooh, very nice. Welcome back, guys. Should we do the business right off the top?
Yeah. Hit that old subscribe button. Hit that like. Leave a comment. Rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Nice.
Citing everything.
Leave a review. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and share with your friends. Share us in your story. Tell a neighbor.
Absolutely.
Grab someone on the street.
Grab somebody by the collar. Shake them.
Exactly.
Lift them upside down, right? Maybe get some change while you're at it. And tell them Show Me Yours loves you.
And if you're in the Vancouver area, come on down to King's Head every Tuesday in Kits. We'll be there. And
we will.
and Ty, where are you at?
Common Ring. Go check out the Common Ring stuff. Go on Eventbrite. Check it out. We're starting a new show at the Heart. It's gonna be called Sharpshooter Comedy. We're fucking super stoked about it.
Yeah.
Cool. The Heart. Yeah,
Fuck
nice.
yeah.
Yo, dude, it's so sick. It's like the whole like Heart Foundation like logo. It's
yeah.
fire.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
what days is that gonna be?
So those are gonna be Thursdays, or it's gonna start on I think the 28th of this month,
Nice.
and then it'll be on Thursdays for July. And then also we'll still be at Calabash as well. So you go check us out on Eventbrite. Of course, we're doing the roast battle as always. Jackie Agnew coming off an absolute demolishing victory to retain her title as the Roast Battle Federation champion. So congratulations, Jackie.
Thank you.
Fucking killed it that
Fucking
night.
come at me.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Revy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and a great call out at the end too.
Yeah. No. That was a fun show. That was really fun. And just like that night to go from like that show, such a high, like so much fun.
Let's
good.
get into this.
It's been a long week, man. Like, you've had a big week. We've had a big week. Like, we've been doing like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, it's been
nuts,
shows,
but,
a lot of shows this week. And
that
so
particular evening,
Thursday evening, got the roast battle at 8 p.m. Such a fun show. As you said, fucking
Crushed it.
won pretty handedly.
Yeah.
And is that a word? Handedly?
I don't know. I was
going to let you go for it.
Yeah.
I was going to move past it.
But
you definitely single-handedly did.
Single-handedly. Yeah.
I know where you're going.
Single-handedly got the upper hand.
Yeah, all of those things.
A lot of hand stuff.
Yeah, a lot of hand stuff involved. And then a little bit of this.
I don't remember that part of the hand jive. It was in, yeah. You didn't see the director's cut of grease.
It's from under the table.
But always such a thrill to win a roast, especially when it's like a championship battle. And so
it's important to defend
coming
the title,
off
for
of
sure.
that, feeling so good, like loving this, living the comedy dream. And walk over like 5 minutes down the street to the open mic that Jonny was hosting. Get there. It starts at 9:30. There's like 7 people in the audience, and about 30 comics. And
Open mic. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Open
well, you
mic
know what,
and-
and like when you have, so it was a 2-show situation. So there was an early show there was a regular kind of deal, but it was kind of poorly attended, and you know what I mean. The comedy during the sun now that the summer's happening and stuff. So like these 7:30 shows or whatnot, you better be in like kind of a dark. So the vibe is kind of off, and if you're coming off a bomb on the first show and you're hosting the next one, I'm looking through all my stuff and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking murk this crap. Like this is gonna be awesome. And then when you get the list handed to you with 24 comics on it, you have no idea that that's what's going to be the case. Yeah. So watching Jackie come through the door, I couldn't even necessarily celebrate with you because I was just like, buckle up, we got to start this fucking thing. And we were there for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we were there for like 2.5 hours. I wasn't
Shout
really
out to the people
planning.
that stayed. I mean, goddamn.
I wasn't really planning on doing a set, but then by the time we got to the end, I was like, I've been sitting here 2.5 hours. I may as well go up and do 4 minutes or whatever. So it's like goddamn near midnight at this point.
Yeah.
I'm the second to last person to go up. Standing up, Jonny is on stage, bringing me on stage. And as I'm waiting to go on stage, one of the 7 audience members sitting in the back faints.
And then there were 6.
And then and she's just knocked out on the floor. People are swarming, but anyone
She's sitting down.
She's
and then
she was.
and then
So
she's
basically took a header from the chair,
lying flat on the floor.
Yeah.
And people, and I see like this is happening as literally my name is being called on
and Jonny
stage.
You can't see shit.
You can't see
it's,
shit.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah,
The lights are in my face.
And then there are like
and I mean, there's so few
the-
people there, and you really do want to give them a little bit of energy and stuff like that. So like, I know that they've been there for a long time. I know that everybody's kind of drained and stuff like that, but you're still trying to be a professional in that moment and stuff. And they've sat through a lot of bad comedians up until this point, and Jackie's going to come and be a breath of fresh air for them. So I am, doing my best to, to keep a little bit of energy in that room. And then walking off that stage, and then the lights kind of, go behind your head, and you see that this woman's on the ground. And I'm looking at Jackie like, what? When did this happen?
So I have to, and there's there are 2 tables that are left other than like this lady and her boyfriend. They were sitting up front, so they didn't know what had happened either. And so I'm being brought up and I have no idea what. Yeah, and I'm like trying to, but there's no way that he's gonna see me. So I'm like, I have to fucking go on stage.
Even if I did see you do that, I might not have like. You
have
like,
no idea. If you
exactly.
She might have just been like vibing to the song or something before. As she's coming, I don't fucking know.
Your dad's crazy.
She's got some Elaine moves, I don't know.
And so I'm like, there was no time to think, and I didn't know what to do, so I just did 5 minutes.
like a fucking pro.
I just fucking did my set, and I was like, I can't make jokes about it because that seems in poor taste. And as I'm doing my set, the paramedics are coming in, like they're fucking on the ground treating her.
Like that's the layout of the room, right? The layout of the room is so ridiculous. So for to explain it for anybody that's listening is you kind of have like a stage and the majority of the audience all kind of at the front of the room. So when you walk in through the door, anything that's happening behind you at the bar area, there's like a set of stairs and stuff like that. So you're not, and like the bar on the other side, so you're not necessarily going to see what's kind of going down the long alley there.
Yeah.
So the people that are there have no fucking idea what's going on until like the fire department fucking like hot dudes come fucking rolling in, and all of a sudden it's just like,
and I'm just fucking
I'm looking at the promoter going like, do I pull her off? Do we fucking do the thing? And the promoter looks at me and just goes, no, keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'm just fucking up there just fucking talking about fucking feet pics and sugar daddies, like being like, I have no idea what to do right now. And
hilarious.
So just that night, it was just like such two drastically different experiences, and it was like the perfect like in comedy, like you'll get like
5 minutes
of feeling on top before you're immediately humbled again. And it was just like the comedy gods like saw that I was like feeling pretty good about myself.
Did you win your blue belt?
Oh, did you win your
little belty welty?
Yeah.
Go see your baby down the street.
Yeah.
How
about sit there? I'm gonna toss you a fucking 2.5 hour open mic, and when you finally go on at midnight, the lady
send firemen that aren't even hot.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know. But I don't know if that's the thing. Is like if you're like too nice, maybe you love me too much, or you're just a glutton for punishment. But you didn't have to stay throughout that whole thing. I mean, like it would have been nice, but there's like, you know what I mean? There's like, that's who you are as a person, that you are going to sit through it, which is very cool. I loved the company. It was fantastic by the end of it, because you didn't ask to go on one time. Like, I was basically like 3 comics left, like, fucking, you want to get after it?
You've seen a show too. You're like, okay, let's get some heat at the end.
Exactly.
Here. Maybe come back. Blah,
totally.
blah, blah, yeah.
I wanted to put her up last, and then she said, no, I'll go before Dara, because Dara Turner has his therapist in the crowd, and for the maybe 30 minutes.
Oh yeah,
dude, this gets
I
better.
don't know who I'm more. Okay.
Yeah,
the
okay.
therapist was in the crowd. Yeah.
So he's there, and he's only just started therapy, and I'm trying to host this show, which
he's
is
not fucking years into therapy. That
clearly. Clearly, yeah. So maybe his like
therapy
first or I told him he looks like the silhouette on the shittiest bottle of scotch last night. But
Johnny Walker Brown.
Fucking guy. Oh man. But anyway, so his therapist in the back, and he was at the roast with you guys, right? So he showed up late, and this being an open mic, anybody that's coming up to me saying, can I get on? I'm at the point where we're all kind of peers, and there's 24 of us, so what's another fucking 4 minutes? You know what I mean? As long as 10 people don't walk through the door or whatever. It was just kind of a situation like that. Shout out to Jordan Wilson, who fucking was like, nope, and then just left. And didn't pester me for a spot. He hung out with us and kind of watched the show or whatever, and then just took off. But you know what I mean? But Dara really wanted to get on there because he walked in and he saw this fucking guy that he's been spilling his heart out to, right? So he kind of wanted to have a fuck around with some of the therapy material.
What therapist goes to that?
Right? Yeah, what
That's
therapist?
the problem.
The kid's on
weird.
suicide watch or something. He's got to be
like that's a fucking red flag that the therapist wouldn't leave, because that seemed like a weird boundary to cross.
Be
to
like
like what?
conflict of interest or
Yeah,
something, or
and
would a
like
different word?
and fucking of
I
course
don't know.
Dara goes up and does his fucking I hate Asians bit in front of his fucking
Yeah, no, but his therapist isn't fucking paying attention to him because
the
he's
therapist was
tending
the
to
first
the woman
one
that's on
tending
the
to the
floor.
woman. Yeah.
So
Dara's-
calm down, sir. You're a therapist.
Right? I know, yeah.
No, totally. 100% agree with you.
Classic
But, dude,
therapist move.
There's a
best-
doctor in the room.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
It was so great just to see the fucking balloon pop for
Oh
Dara, who's like, in his head is like, for the 45 minutes leading up to this, is like, I'm going to have the greatest moment of comedy that I've had here. Because he's kind of, you know what I mean? He's pretty like fresh enough into the game or whatever that he's running through all the maybe material that he has and what he's going to do. And he's talking to me about it while I'm doing shotgun intros for 24 comics where I'm like, dude, I'm fucking ready to like, I'll talk to you for a second here. But like, you're kind of like reiterating the same thing because you know his energy on a Thursday night late. We don't have to say what it is, but you know what I'm
There's
saying.
a lot of energy.
There's a lot of energy. And it's coming from Colombia. And basically, so by the time that he gets on stage and he's trying to get the attention of basically the audience who now knows that there's paramedics
Yeah,
back
everyone is aware that
and he's the last call. You know what I mean? So the
And
fucking
he is upset that no one is paying attention.
Yeah,
Dude,
so he's
yes.
up there screaming, "I hate Asians."
it was so fucking shitty. And I'm like, dude,
Oh my
this is how we're
God.
gonna end this
It was
evening.
the
And yeah, we
wildest
left just
fucking
kind of
night.
fucking like pretty deflated.
Yeah,
to say the
Yeah, I
least.
came back and I was like, I feel weird because like usually getting home from a roast battle, you feel like pumped up, you feel
Yeah.
good, but that show was just so draining. It's
Yeah.
so
That'll
many
do it to
different-
Well, it was funny too because if you look like you had a big week too, right? So if you're looking at it, like Tuesday's show was fucking awesome. I got to do trivia on Wednesday, which was a cool, different kind of butt muscle to
Yeah.
flex, and got to crack some jokes and shit. Thursday was god awful, but then last night was something that I dreaded so much, and then turned into actually, maybe be one of like the coolest moments on stage or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Breaking through a threshold and doing comedy on mushrooms is not something I recommend to
Yeah,
anybody.
we did a mushroom
Yeah,
show.
for the viewers / listeners, if you notice a different energy, it's because we're all
very
coming,
hungover.
all coming off a mushroom trip. Did
Big
a
time.
mushroom show last night that I think we were all dreading immensely.
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons.
I
too.
don't
Yeah.
like any time with hallucinogenics. I don't like being like on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take these.
Exactly.
I don't fucking know
That
what
was the
Friday's
whole
gonna
thing.
be like.
100%.
What are
Exactly.
you talking about?
That's the whole thing,
That's
and
the
feeling
dumbest
like
shit ever.
feeling like trapped, like feeling almost forced to do this.
Yeah.
Even like we all agreed to do it. It wasn't like someone
it's
was
friends and shit.
But
like it's all.
but
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
like I have to do this thing, and that's not the energy you want to take mushrooms.
Especially
with.
for mushrooms, like everybody's on a different batch of them and kind
Everyone
of
did like their own.
yeah, and we're all friends and stuff, and we're all like kind of hanging out in the back of the room. But it is like a comedian hang, and It was a lot of I was battling a fucking demon bag of mushrooms, man. I was going fucking through it. But having, you know, like you guys there, having like the Peter Grant energy, walking around with a smile on his face, watching Ty fucking handle it.
Yeah, Ty hosted the show. That was
like that gave me the fucking like I'm like, okay, I can do it. And then watching you go up and have a good, you know, and I'm sitting there and being like, I'm not gonna be the one of us that bombs. You know what I mean?
The audience was crazy supportive too.
I think everyone did really
so
well.
cool.
Everyone did super well.
Yeah. The audience was very like most of them were on shrooms as well, so everyone was very giggly. It was a fun show, despite some of the backstage stuff going on. But
despite all the bullshit,
it's just you know what you would expect to be around that many people tripping. Like it's not really the environment you want, but I do think we made the best of it, and we still had like a pretty good time.
Because again, it goes complete. It's the complete opposite of how I choose to do hallucinations, which is like kind of the only like it's one of the only fucking drugs I still fuck with. So it's like I'm pretty particular about who I do it with, like where I do. I'm like I want a field with like we're in the downtown.
I'm with people that I like trust completely, you know. So I'm not gonna freak out instead of in a room full of comics in the worst area of Vancouver. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, real quick about the worst area. I have to tell this. So I get there and it's like I took 5 grams and like I ate them and then I took the bus down there.
For the listener, for those of you who don't know, that's a fucking hero's dose. Like it's a lot of mushrooms to go into. Like you're an experienced like user or whatever, but I wouldn't recommend, you know, somebody doing that and just going on a fucking journey. Never mind going to host a comedy show. So it's a ballsy move.
No. So it's like it takes me about 40 minutes to get down there. So it's like okay, like they're starting to kind of kick it as I get there, and then I'm like okay, all right, like I'm kind of feeling good, and this sketchy dude walks up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you got a light?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." And I go to hand it to him, and he puts up his hand, and it's just like badly burned. Like, did you just take it out of an oven or something? Mangled, scabby hand. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm like, let me get that for you. So then I light it, right? So this is my hand. And then he just proceeds to bring up his other crusty ass hand. And he just grips my hand. As I'm lighting it. And I'm like, his scabs are moving. I'm just like, oh, God. I gotta get the fuck out of here. It was not a good way to start.
After the last time that you were tripping like in our presence and you were asked to set up our stereo system, you thought it couldn't get any worse.
I apologize for that.
You walk in, well, at least no one's going to ask me to set up their stereo.
That's great. Oh, man. I don't know why you guys had snakes for wires, but that's exactly what I saw when I looked back there. I was like, oh, man, there's a lot of snakes back here.
You can't get that warm toad without
have you guys thought about dealing with the snakes?
Yeah. You guys ought to get Adam Jacobson in here and take a look at these snakes. Buckaroos, let me take you home with me.
You look over and
audio
you
file,
just
not
have
a
like the
pedophile.
wires coiled around you and you're like, oh. Oh my God. But
they're more scared of us than we are of them.
They're really quite gentle creatures.
Yeah, quite docile.
Petting them.
Fuck.
But so kind of this is speaking of kind of trippy out there stories.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did eat things from outer space last night.
I'm
convinced.
I believe to be true.
Yeah.
I believe that to be true for sure. Do you? Oh fuck yeah. There's a lot to unpack there.
So yeah, the story that we are doing. Aliens created our universe in a lab. Scientists suggests. So,
my man Avi Loeb back at it again, baby.
Astronomy's resident bad boy.
Oh yeah, he's that bad boy.
He's that bad boy. He's that bad boy. Bad boy for life.
He's that Big Bang bad boy.
Suggests the universe may have been created in a laboratory. Our supposed creators, Loeb writes in an op-ed published in Scientific American last year, may have developed the technology needed to construct baby universes capable of producing life. He also introduces a new classification system for advanced civilizations. So
this is fascinating.
Yeah, so the Harvard astronomer posits that a higher class of civilization may have conjured up our universe in a laboratory far, far away. Since our universe has a flat geometry with a zero net energy, an advanced civilization could have developed a technology that created a baby universe out of nothing through quantum tunneling, he writes in an op-ed published by Scientific American. I don't understand a word of that.
Quantum
tunneling.
Anytime you put quantum before anything, like that's just like
tunneling.
that's because in a science fiction movie, if it's like, you know what I mean, this is the fucking, you know, it's the quantum accelerator or the quantum fucking anything, then like that's like some Ant-Man shit. He got caught in the quantum realm, and yeah, we don't need to get into Avengers, but it's pretty dope.
I don't know what he means by zero net energy force and all of that.
What I understand from that is that like a basic, like, so for our universe, the way that I understand it, right, would be that like you look at the way that we all the planets in our solar system kind of revolve around the sun, and they kind of do it on like on the same plane. You know what I mean? It's which basically kind of means that it's flat. But if I had a fucking spaceship, like, would you go like you know, like direction? You could go fucking 360 degrees, and you know, what's to say that? So if you have to go like due west to get to Mars, right? But like the Andromeda galaxy is not north of us. You know what I mean? Like it's still like you still have to travel in that kind of direction or whatever.
Mars west of us?
I don't know. I'm just saying for example, right?
Oh, okay.
But basically, what he says that like so the Earth or sorry the galaxy or whatever, as we know it, basically exists on a flat plane, which is fascinating to me because like what do you mean that I can't go up? Or you can't go all the way down, right? You know what I mean? So like that everything kind of like exists or whatever. You know, for lack of a better term, just to visualize it or whatever, kind of like say like all floating on the same surface of water or something like that, right? So, and zero net energy, meaning that like the only thing that kind of can create like movement, I think, in space comes from like a fucking quasar or like a star exploding or something like that.
Right.
And then, you know what I mean?
It's a vacuum.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So all of that, like whatever kind of like goes into motion or whatever is going into motion at a pace that can be like determined scientifically and calculated, which we'll talk about a different story about Abby where that kind of comes in, where some other stuff comes into that.
So all of this means that it could be created by aliens?
Potentially in his mind or whatever, that it's like is I think the idea that he's saying is that the civilization that we're talking about would be at the third class of this like 3-class classification for civilizations. At the third class of that, they would be so far advanced that creating something like this basically the how did he describe class 3 of the civilizations? It's that the civilization can harness all of the matter that made it to recreate another.
Okay.
Is that not fucking mind blowing?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not following.
I just don't think Jesus wanted it that way.
Italian Jesus is gonna. He's gonna have words for me when I get there. It's gonna be like, Johnny, what the fuck is that?
That's really the best Jesus, right?
Oh,
You want
of course.
Italian
He's
Jesus.
got to be. Yeah, he's wearing a wife beater. He's got marinara stains and shit on it, man. He's got a gold chain with a little pepper on it.
Johnny,
and
that's
shit.
blood.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So this theory, he suggests, would unite two seemingly opposite notions: the idea that a higher power might be driving our fate, and the secular concept of quantum gravity, a field of physics that seeks to work gravity into the theory of quantum mechanics, something that, to the bane of physicists everywhere, we haven't been able to do yet on Earth. Primarily, this theory hinges on a far-off advanced civilization's ability to meld both quantum mechanics and gravity, and subsequently identify and recreate all of the universe's ingredients. In parentheses, sounds like a lot of work, to be honest.
No shit. Everybody shits on this guy or whatever because he's a Harvard physicist and stuff like that. He's gonna take like wild swings, but I think that like, you know what I mean, in the interest of like space travel or astrophysicists, fucking, but in a world of science that's so incredibly complex that I can't even fathom the numbers, just in a basic sense of like of distance, like, you know what I mean, like billions of miles to the nearest star, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean,
right?
Like, so when it comes to stuff like that. my man Avi over here is taking like wicked swings in the dark and kind of giving like, you know, like possibilities of what's out there, right? But the scientific community is so quick to shit on him because like, I think like people that consider themselves to be like serious scientists will see something extraordinary and that can't be explained, and they, you know, so their idea is that the move isn't to go for like a wild claim just because it can't be explained. You know what I mean, right? So like that's kind of why a lot of this stuff kind of gets shit on, but his credentials are, you know, so he's yeah, exactly. Right?
That's why people probably fucking hate him.
Well, yeah, he's definitely.
That's why exactly right, because people buy his motherfucking books. You know what I mean? This guy sells tickets.
Yeah,
and, you know what I mean.
He's a bad boy.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's like obviously all of this goes way over my head, but as just like a thought experiment, it's fun. I don't understand what like the motive of these aliens would be. Like because I've heard this kind of theory before. And I don't like the fact that we're like, you know, a big like experiment.
Yeah, you ever see the last scene of Men in Black where the aliens would play marbles?
Yeah, and so which is an interesting theory, but I like what is the motive for aliens in this kind of scenario? Like, are they just
grade
trying to
7
fuck with
science
us?
report?
Yeah,
literally.
Right,
yeah. I think so. I think in a fucking like at that like advanced level, you got to think of like a Kurt Vonnegut, like Tralfamadorian kind of.
Mother, the science fair is coming up. I need a project. How about a volcano? No.
This is the level.
Zertron is already doing a volcano.
This is one step up from vinegar and baking soda for a 7th grade alien.
What if we created an entire world?
Well, will they fight in war with each other? I guess.
Probably.
A+. You passed the 7th grade.
Just a little bit of quantum tunneling.
Quantum tunneling sounds like a nerd gay bar.
Tunneling.
Yes, sir, it does. It's right next to the square root.
Fucking hilarious. What a fucking hilarious euphemism for gay sex. Tunneling.
Straight bar is called square root.
They're just battling across they have the same parking lot, and like, you know what I mean? You'd think they wouldn't get along, but late night, you know, there's some crossover.
Where do the lesbians go? To the black hole across the street.
It's about inclusivity out there, right? Everybody's partying and shit. You know what I mean?
Everyone's partying and shit.
Yeah, I feel like I would have understood the story a lot more last night. When
right? Yeah, we should have got into it.
I can feel my mind like trying to get to.
Yeah, I feel like in the like after mushrooms haze, it's definitely not
it's definitely something like difficult to like wrap the head around. But last year, Avi Loeb, there was a story that came out about Omau. Do you guys remember Omeo or something like that? It was a Hawaiian name, basically for this large 100-meter long like cigar-shaped asteroid or like fucking space rock that's flying through the galaxy. And the problem is that we didn't detect it until it kind of already passed us, and it was on the way back towards like the sun or some shit. And when they detected it, they were looking at it, and the speed of this fucking rock was accelerating at a pace that they couldn't explain, right? So Avi comes up with some, you know what I mean? He this is where the bad boy, this is where I first heard of Avi, right? So he kind of had some wild claims and some theories or whatever of what it could be, because this is not a phenomenon that doesn't exist. The thing that made this special is that when asteroids are seen basically accelerating at a pace that is above their natural fucking progression, there's gases and shit that's inside of them as they're getting closer into the sun that are warming up or whatever and kind of exploding or whatever, right? So there's kind of
pieces coming off and
exactly, right? So that's kind of how they can detect those things, and that's what's pushing the thing forward. What this thing didn't have was any of that stuff, right? So it's basically just like a black hole, or sorry, like a singular object that is like 100 times more reflective than any other space rock. So it would be like, you know what I mean? Either it's like entirely, you know what I mean, a chunk of space iron or something like that that's floating through. It's incredibly unique and specific.
Bunch of tinfoil hats put together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was bringing up the rear. And so, but basically what he was saying that this wouldn't have to be like a spaceship with the capabilities of traveling at light speed. What this could maybe be, that's why they named it Omau Mau, because it's Hawaiian for scout. And basically what this thing what he proposed that it could be was a fucking, like a space rock with like a sail on it, basically, because it was very peculiar shaped or whatever. And he said that one of the causes for that could be something that NASA, or, you know what I mean, like a bunch of people had designs for this, that basically one of the, what is it, like the Journey, there's a satellite that's like way the fuck out there taking pictures of like Saturn and shit, right? So basically they were looking at like early ways for like propulsion methods or whatever that would save them fuel and stuff, and one of these like solar sails or whatever was something that they kind of came up with or whatever. That being said, he kind of proposed that this would be like a much more advanced kind of piece of equipment or whatever that was designed to travel, you fucking, you know, God knows how far or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So it was just, it was very interesting, the piece of that it was, and I like that so much more of somebody that's willing to like take a swing and kind of like, you know, put a little bit of like of intrigue, you know what I mean? Because that story, if you're a little kid and you hear that fucking story or whatever, maybe that's gonna like, you know, push some kid to seed, you know what I mean, to get involved in that kind of stuff, rather than, you know what I mean, just having some like stiff like prick in a fucking tweed suit sitting at, you know what I mean, a higher education place being like, we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it, right?
Yeah.
So, that's why I fuck with this stuff.
I just think it's wild that you can remember and explain all that stuff, but you can't remember when my birthday is.
Babe, some things are just more interesting, you know?
I feel like that's something that my teacher said to my mom. Is something like he can't do his timetables, but he knows Carlin's entire fucking...
Yeah, he can do.
And he's 7.
I'm a modern man.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, guilty as charged. But you know what I mean. My curiosity for this stuff, like you know what I mean. Like it goes like, you know, leaps and bounds past this kind of thing. You know, just because not necessarily like Mulder-esque X-Files, like the truth is out there and I have to expose it. It's just that, you know what I mean, I like the whimsy of the maybe in the world. Right?
Yeah, of course.
The what could happen.
Fuck yeah.
Which is more of a David Duchovny Red Shoe Diary sort of situation.
I was going more, I've kind of lived my life as more of a Californication David Duchovny, unfortunately, which is...
Or no, more of David Duchovny in Twin Peaks.
Oh my goodness. That was one weekend.
A lot of Coveneys.
A lot of companies.
The different faces
If
of
you keep
Coveney.
exposing me, I'll be David Duchovny in fucking California. Oh no, that was Brad Pitt. That was the murderer. Damn.
Anyway. Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, California with a K. Fucking watch that shit. That's a good.
But yeah, no, it's a fascinating thought, and yeah, I like people just kind of not throwing out, because obviously a lot of research and knowledge goes into this. Totally. But yeah, people positing different theories. I don't know, like, kind of the overall significance of it, but I don't think it really matters. I think it's fun to just, to just like think about it and, you know, wonder what could be out there, and and who's if we're gonna win the science fair,
and who's pulling that would be the shit. Like, that would be hilarious if all of a sudden, like, the only contact that we have with aliens or whatever is just a giant magnifying glass coming down, and then somebody just writes a fucking D on Australia or something. It's like we just
I thought it was gonna be like the whole world
like
we
just
get smushed by a participation ribbon.
What the fuck is that? It's not even a blue ribbon.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming. One of those fucking rainbow ribbons that they give you.
Glee Glorp fucking didn't even. Or
did you guys have those participation ribbons?
Oh yeah.
So like, I feel like they didn't really have with me until like I was a little bit older. Is when they kind of got introduced.
Yeah.
And I remember being like,
I remember throwing them away because like
Totally.
I was like a first or a second place like when I was doing like track meets and shit like up until like grade 7 or 8 or some shit like that. I was fucking tall, like much taller than everybody like in my grade.
Those gams for that long disc.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Yeah, so I was setting like grade 6 records and shit like that for the school and stuff like that. Which we should go back to the books. Let's see if I'm still holding some of those.
I thought you were gonna say we should play discus.
No. But there was a few high jump records that I held in like grade 5 or 6 that I wonder if anybody beat me, and if they did, then we have to track down and murder a man younger than me. But other than that, the basically, oh shit, yeah, Devin Hughes was there and he had the record, and then they were basically like, see if you can beat him, and I got like an inch over him. It was cool. Anyway, oh shit. Now I'm hot. What were we talking about?
Participation ribbons.
Yeah, so the participation thing is because I was like, I could do like 2 or 3 disciplines pretty well. Anything else that I got a participation ribbon for, I was like, get this fucking shit out of here.
Yeah,
so like I put, more of them ended up in a garbage can, I think, than made it home in my
I remember
childhood.
them being introduced and being like, this is weird.
Yeah,
The fuck
they
is
were
this for?
kinda weird.
This
Just
fucking
say the participant or whatever.
Jerry
Tommy gets one?
Get
Yeah.
the fuck
Are
out
you
of here.
fucking
You didn't
kidding
fucking
me?
earn that shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bigger punch in the ribs to
walked
him.
the last 3
What
laps.
did he do? Yeah, what did he do? Eat all the oranges at halftime?
Yeah.
Save a little for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy knows that he's the kid that's so fat and shitty that they had to introduce the participation kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
The kid, yeah, who's the kid?
Yeah, orange slices. He needs a snack, okay?
Who's the
So
fat,
they're
the
like,
fat
"We're
kid
gonna
that
get some
broke the camel's
chocolate?"
back that
Yeah.
he did a participation
Yeah.
trophy too. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we also have an album to get to today.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, a great album.
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
man, I'm fucking pumped for this. It's weird. It's like I feel like because we kind of rotate about who's like gonna pick whatever at that.
Yeah.
And I have to start just kind of keeping notes because I'm like, okay, shit will just pop in my head. Cause I'm like, there are so many amazing albums that have been so influential in my life that it's like but when you're put on the spot, I can't possibly think of one.
Yeah.
And then this one got brought up to me, and I was like, oh my god, this fucking album is unbelievable. And it's the 1983 release of Talking Heads, Speaking in Tongues.
Fuck yeah.
God damn it, this album is
So
so
good.
fucking good. It's
Yeah.
the funkiest shit ever. Came out June 1st. It's their fifth studio album. Kind of an interesting one because they got the band was on hiatus for since their 1981 or 80 release, I think. They're on hiatus for a little bit. This is when they took I don't know if they fired or just kind of separated from Brian Eno, who was producing all their shit from Brian Eno from Roxy Music.
Yeah.
And
What
did
was
a bunch of different other shit as well.
What was the reception of this band? Like I'm completely coming in blind. I mean, I know Burning Down the House.
Yeah.
And nothing really else. So is that
they're
their biggest hit? And
Psycho
what
Killer.
did people?
Yeah.
Oh, they did Psycho Killer.
Yeah.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Yeah.
We've
And
been
you would
singing
you'd
it
hear a
to
couple
Gnocchi.
more that'd be like, oh, this is fucking, oh wow, this is great. Yeah, I know this song
Yeah.
too. Right? You'd probably hear some David Byrne stuff as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the band is 1980. Can't remember the name of that album right before, but this was kind of
It has a
highly
cool name. I was looking at it.
it was a highly anticipated album, like a follow-up, but the band kind of went on hiatus. I think some members went on to do the Tom Tom Club and do some other shit. A couple people got married, all this stuff, and then Byrne just needed a bit of a break, I think. So everyone wasn't really sure what was going to happen, and they came back with a fucking heater of an album.
Fucking
It
right.
is just unbelievable front to back. And then in 1984, this album kind of coincides with a movie that was like a documentary they made of them going on tour with this whole album in 1984, and it's
Sick.
called Stop Making Sense, and it's like the whole live show. And David Byrne and The Talking Heads, they're like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like they're like cool art nerds. There's like the Andy Warhol crew that I'm like, fuck these guys. Like, I don't know
Dude,
what it is. I just don't get down with they're
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah,
they're like
man.
Gen fucking Z or whatever. Like, that's the
Yeah.
vibe I get from like that crew.
Totally.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I love Lou Reed and all that stuff, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, comparatively to this is like,
Other than take a
Yeah.
walk on the wild side, I could really kind of give a shit. You know what I mean? There's a few things that with the art scene that's like a little bit too much for me, and I'm glad that this album was brought up at the right kind of time, maybe in my life. or
they
something.
came
Like,
up in
it was
New York in
ju-
the 80s.
just
the
Yeah.
worst New York that's ever been.
That's
dude.
wild.
That's some Ninja Turtle shit.
Yeah,
Like,
this is the fucking.
it's
Yeah.
so
and this is
bad.
the
And
sound,
and this
too,
is what
right?
came out of it.
And then it's
yeah,
CBG, and
yeah.
I don't know what the vibe is from CBGB's is such a crazy place, right? Because it's you've got the punks, like you've got the Ramones and fucking all this like really intense like punk root stuff.
But is this like new wave? Because like this
but
is like
yeah,
like
it is. They're part
like,
of the Blondie crew of CBGBs. And like that place is such a crazy place because from what I was never there, but from what I can tell from the photos, it doesn't seem like it was like the punk kids had Friday and the new wave kids had Saturday. It seemed to be a pretty big mesh of everyone hanging out, which is crazy to me because I mean we're at a very, I'm just gonna say like segregated sort of form of entertainment, and there's like and it's very 100%. Like. So it's like, wow,
you're the only musician that's at the fucking shows.
Yeah.
That we're at.
And like if any fucking self-respecting comic went to like an open mic too, like there is no crossover.
Oh yeah, good point.
Like
good point.
musicians coming into the fold, be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that the ones that do it, like if any for any listener out there, if you are at any kind of open mic that has some good vibes and stuff like that, and somebody gets up there to start spouting some stand-up, then you probably better fucking...
That sounds horrific.
You might want to go for a smoke.
Yeah.
I think that,
but
it needs to be...
Such a different vibe.
Yeah,
exactly. To go from music to comedy, if someone's doing like fucking spoken word and shit, like who wants that kind of mishmash of performing?
Yeah. Imagine Ravi gets up there and just starts doing lunette.
Someone starts doing some crazy out there bits, dude. They're trying new shit.
We need to make that happen. Actually, we need to find an open. Well, we can go to Kingston on Wednesday.
Yeah,
and let's just go. Let's go.
That would be kind of funny.
Let's do that, Ravi.
Anyways.
Yeah, so like there's this crazy like new wave band, and then like David Byrne is just like he's so smart, like he's just weird, like he's a fucking weird dude. Just cool art though. I love his like art. His whole aesthetic is just like super crazy. The whole stop making sense thing. He's wearing this like suit jacket that has like the shoulder pads go up to here. I'm not kidding you, to here. And it's just like
see this shit.
And then it's just like it just bounces up and down. He like comes down the stairs. Like he's just the weirdest. He's an alien.
But
he's a fucking alien.
He's
one of those
alien
dudes.
though
There's
has
like Lady Gaga.
He lives on like
David
a different,
Bowie. There's some fucking aliens out there that make
on
music.
A different plane. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And again, I
fascinating
feel
to
like
watch.
he's an alien from outer space that has come down to make the people of Earth dance. And he fucking just like Clinton and fucking and Daft Punk.
Yeah.
And fucking there's something about just aliens that love the funk.
Yeah. It is that image of like the UFO coming down the fucking ramp. There's smoke. Then out walks the colorful dreadlocks. There's
fucking dude. Like he's
shoulders,
just
out walks fucking David Bowie, like all this shit.
It's like there is something about it. Like it's been a theme throughout my whole. Like I always end up just loving because it's like this is the danciest fucking album.
And that's what I loved listening to it too. I think it was on Wednesday night when Jonny was at trivia, and I was just like fucking grooving around the house.
It opens with "Burning Down the House," which might be the best song to open an album with. Like it's just like the buildup of that like. That acoustic guitar at the beginning, like that's the thing. The combo of instruments too, it is like I love when people make shit funky with shit that's like. I mean, acoustic guitar like steel string has been funky at times. There's been like Bill Withers kind of funk with tunes with that, but not like. There's like what's gonna happen here? Like, and then it just fucking this huge crescendo. Like
it's suspenseful and rising fucking action and fucking drops on you. Yeah, man.
And it's so good. And it's so good. Like listening, obviously, like they couldn't have known this when they were making it, but listening to it now, it opening with that song being arguably their most recognizable song, and you're so immediately into it. You're like, oh shit. This song.
It's so good. And then my favorite track on this album, and it's my favorite Talking Heads song of all time, is "Girlfriend Is Better." And it's just like that's just there's so many rad sounds in this fucking. There's just a lot of dope synth and a lot of dope shit like that. But "Girlfriend Is Better" has like. It's like a pedal bass, like very flashlight, like flash, like it's fucking, it's very much like that, and I don't know, it's the funkiest shit, and he's like the whitest dude. I don't understand how he does it, and he's been doing it for fucking days, man. He's been doing it for like, oh man. He's
like
how
long was
shit.
how did like the new wave like sound like this develop? Because Psycho Killer like when you told me that they were the same band, I was kind of like, oh shit, because like now I can hear it in the voice now in my head.
Yeah.
But not instrument wise, you know what I mean, in those two songs. So did you know if they were before or after?
I think
because if this was like, if this was a fucking,
or maybe before. I'm
okay.
Not
Well, either
he
way,
switched
right?
up
like,
the band several
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
What he's done to like certain stuff is just Byrne and like
yeah,
whatever.
but like stop making sense. If that's the name of the fucking of the video, that makes perfect sense because like that's the weirdest, like one of the weirder ones on the album or whatever. And it's kind of like the ode to do it. And there was a song before that or whatever that has like a fucking like lyrically has a Clash vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I mean? And like there was
they
something
do
about
get
it,
that
like
punk vibe.
yeah,
it's
like there's
they're
something about it. It was like I'm listening to like I was like say like Sandinista Clash show like a little bit later and stuff like that, right?
Like Magnificent Seven, like that kind of Clash.
100%,
yeah,
right?
dude, that's my favorite Clash album.
It was fucking in
also,
there, really.
Flea's favorite Clash.
It was.
album.
It's my least favorite, and if we pick it, then we. And I would honestly like to go through it. I have it on fucking vinyl at the house. It's fucking way too long. I got a laundry list of complaints about it.
Oh man, I have like a fucking so many praises about it. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah,
we should. Okay, okay, we might have to. Yeah, we'll do.
And I think so with this album too. Another reason, like I love like funky music so much. And I think like kind of realizing more part of the reason why I like it so much is that like it doesn't fucking really matter what the lyrics are at all, you know. It's it's all about the fucking groove and shit. Burning down the house.
This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful house. And the day's going.
And the one.
Yeah, that's the argument too.
Okay, fuck yeah, dude.
And that's the same, like,
that's
like
very
again,
good
like, bringing it all back to Chili Peppers. That's the same fucking. That's why I fucking love Anthony's lyrics so much because somebody's like, doopa-doopa-da. I'm like, fuck
literally being like,
that's because that's what sounds good with the music at that moment.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I feel that for sure.
Yeah, if it fits, I think that it's cool. It's good that I'm like doing like exercises in this or whatever because I didn't necessarily need something like this to speak to me or whatever, but for me to enjoy it or whatever, like I did, like I found a little bit of substance in it. You know what I mean? I found the like a little bit of weird. It's weird, but do you know Spoon?
Yeah, fuck
you know,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Spoon kicks ass, but they're weird, but they're not like too weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
It's
I
enough
can take
weird.
I can take a bite of this and fucking sit in.
But here's the deal, it's like they're fucking weird, but it's like the quality of what they're making is so good.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like it's undeniably like.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are so proficient in all of these instruments and production. Like they produce this whole fucking thing.
How many people like for to reproduce this live? How many people in the band? And like, is it just like
something in sense is like a lot of people on stage. I feel like there's like tons of background stuff like that. But I think the core group is like 4 or 5 people or something like that.
Check it out tonight. Cool. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking like real fun. And like I think like a show like this would be like because burning
like
down the house,
yeah.
like I mean, obviously they would have got like so much bigger after that or whatever. But I think if this like, you know, well, I mean, fuck, you play music, right? So like you probably seen like in a comedy situation where you're on stage and you're watching somebody take a fucking wild swing. And you know what I mean? Sometimes it might work and sometimes it wouldn't, right? To see this like to be done, like to be something like this weird, to be done really well in like a small bar or something like that would be like, where the fuck am I? You know what I mean? I guess you'd be in the 80s.
Or
you know what I mean? Right? But it's like that, like it's a fucking time capsule that's like aging kind of cool. You know what I mean?
It's so wild. And I feel like this is the album that like maybe gave David Byrne like the confidence to be like, oh, I'll do whatever the fuck. Like I'll make wild shit.
Yeah.
And it's like dope, and it doesn't matter. Like he's
cool.
got a book on just like the brain, like the music brain. I think it's called like the musical brain or something like that.
Cool.
And it's like it's crazy, like scientifically like broken down about like how we interpret music and like how we process it and all this shit. And it's like, and he takes all of that into his music and into his writing. It's fucking wild. The guy is insane.
Such a weird form of art to be like to merge like skill and creativity is like the all of that's like art and like I mean in comics I guess if it's done well or whatever for like any medium, but for like music I don't know, I think for or maybe like I just respect it so much more or whatever, right? Because like it's just like it's all you can't see it, you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean with like it's even with or I can't read sheet music or whatever, but like I could read my thoughts on a page before I go and perform the thing, you know what I mean, and do it without or whatever. But there's something kind of like you know, like a level of like creativity to like to create with sounds of like an E or whatever, right? But like, you know, to take that on, you know what I mean, to fucking space.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Is pretty wild.
It's just like weird. Like it's like I don't know how. It reminds me of like you know when you watch someone paint something. And you remember like watching Bob Ross and be like, he'd be like 20 minutes into it, and you're like, oh, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
done. I'd be done so long ago. I'm like, I don't want to fuck any more of this up.
No
I just
shit.
did this crazy good painting, and he just keeps adding these textures and all these color, and you're like, what the fuck? Who thinks about doing that? And it's like that's when I listen to an album like this. That's what I get. I'm like, who adds this weird like sound and like all these weird like all these synthy weird.
There's a lot of cool rattles too.
Like
just the dumb, the craziest shit,
It
and it
is like
sounds so good. The production of it is so fucking good.
It is like a type of like genius to be able to listen to something, and be like, oh, it just needs a little rattle right there, and then it'll be perfect. Yeah. To like have that kind of brain.
Do you guys ever seen Be Cool? With fucking John Travolta and Cedric the Entertainer and Uma Thurman. It's fun 2000s comedy and shit. It's the follow up to Get Shorty.
I was gonna say, I was like, it feels like a Get Shorty sort of vibe.
It totally is. Yeah.
Yeah.
John Travolta's like fucking
Shorty's
like a
so
Lawrence
good.
Shucker guy or whatever for the mob, and he goes out to LA and he kind of tries to get involved in entertainment and stuff like that. And it's fucking funny movie. It's a lot of fun. And that at one scene, Andre 3000 is fucking drinking tea with his pinky up, and they're supposed to be like kind of muscling fucking John Travolta. And Cedric the Entertainer's like, what is this with the pinky? This ain't gangsta. But then at the end of their deal or whatever, they get this artist, and Cedric the Entertainer is this music producer in it, and so he's listening to her demo, and he's kind of like, okay, like, you know what I mean? I think it just needs like a little blues guitar. And then at the end of and then it's a hit by the end of the song or whatever. She plays with Aerosmith or some shit at the end of the movie or whatever. Spoiling the whole thing. Check the thing out. But it is funny that
A lot of spoilers today, Johnny.
Right?
I'm sorry, man. I'm so much
From movies from 10 years ago.
Yeah. Come on.
I love
Might be
like,
15
spoiler
actually.
alert.
Might
Like,
be
it came
2001.
out so long ago. What are you
Oh, I
talking
hate
about?
that shit. Yeah, when people
That's
get
my fault. You
mad.
haven't seen the fucking movie yet.
Yeah.
It's like 15 years.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
dude.
people get mad.
The Rock is in it.
Look,
He's
on,
and Vince Vaughn, fucking star-studded cast.
Oh, I need
On-
to fucking okay.
Yeah.
On the Survivor subreddit, the rule is that new episodes come out on Wednesday, but before Friday, you got to put a spoiler tag if there's any
Right.
spoilers.
That's
After
fair.
the 2-day mark,
Yeah,
fucking
get
your
fucked.
own fault for not watching. it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep up.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking
Totally.
this is Survivor.
100%.
It's always Survivor, Jack.
It's a red hot chili Survivor house. And I just live there.
Can you imagine Jackie on that show just trying to get immunity? Like, what I got, you got to get it, put it in. Just fucking stealing people's rice and shit.
Yeah. That would be fucking awesome. I think you'd love
I know it's not naked and afraid, but I don't care.
But I'm going to be naked and you're going to be afraid. Come at you like
We're fucking tripping on mushrooms last night. We were watching an episode, and like she basically, this guy got. We haven't watched this season, the particular season. We were watching it for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. So I kind of forgot where we were at. And Jackie's fucking right back into it and breaks down this guy's whole downfall of his gameplay from day one. And I was sitting there like, fuck, you're totally right. She's like, yeah, by this point, by the time that you get to this, position where, you know what I mean, where you're grasping at these straws and stuff like that, the game's already moved past you. And I'm just like,
if you're going into tribal council and you're panicking and just running around to everyone trying to like save face and try to figure out what's going on, you've already lost, because if you don't know what's going on every vote, then you're out of the fucking game. Then if it's not going to be that week that it turns on you, it's going to be the fucking next week or the week after, especially if you're scrambling around before tribal. They're like,
Don't be a scrambler.
Don't be a scrambler.
No.
You gotta lay. Well, I'm not gonna give away my strategy.
Yeah,
on,
you better keep this
on the
that's
internet.
That's $1 million. I'll look after the cat. Go make that money.
It's $1 million. It's at least, if you make it to the final 3. Third place gets 85,000. Second place gets 100,000. First place gets $1 million. So if you just make it to that final tribal council, you're guaranteed at least $85,000.
Babe, if you come home with $85,000, I'll be stoked.
You're coming home with like
a mil.
Yeah.
I want
how
a
much? Though?
milli.
Probably like 50.
Well, yeah, after taxes
After
and
taxes,
shit.
yeah,
But
you
yeah, I
probably
think
I think it's like 2/3 or something
yeah,
like that you take home.
I think
It's
with
like they take a huge
I
chunk
think
of
with the
American.
million, you end up taking home like 750,000, something
I'm
like
mad
that.
at that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Of course, she's broken it down. What am I doing? Something like 700,000, 552, 80 cents. I don't know though.
So just off the top of my
It
head,
really
yeah.
depends if you win a car in one of the things. So it could be. I mean, it's all the
Yeah,
prizes
yeah.
that stack up on top of it. You know what I mean? You have the potential to walk home with much more.
Johnny thinks it's just the price is right. He's like, I gotta sell this grandfather clock and this living room set.
Fucking right, dude. I'll be in the alley trying to sell fucking lawn
That show
furniture.
makes
to
no
fucking-
sense, right? It's like, oh, here's your showcase, like it's some furniture, and then the next one's like,
Right.
you get free trips to Hawaii for life.
Right?
dude.
What the
One of
fuck
the-
are we
Right.
doing?
So
What
fucking
are the
shitty.
fucking different things on Price is Right? Like, how
Yeah.
do they decide all? And also, I haven't watched Price is Right in so long. Do you think it's all like the same kind of things
It's
that
all
they
the
Oh
give
same
yeah,
shit.
the
away?
Tide
Yeah.
box and the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
How much is this popcorn?
Totally.
Yeah.
But think
Yeah.
of Triscuits, fucking Pringles. It's all the same shit, right? Like, but
Yeah.
they,
That's how that dude cracked it,
the
right?
price did.
Right. Or, but
Yeah.
do-
Yeah.
It's
Because he
fucking-
just kept
Yeah.
showing the same items, so he
Yeah.
would just
Right.
like photographic memory, and he
Dude.
made a
Went straight
fucking like
autismo
Excel.
about it.
Yeah.
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 Do you think it's the same like kind of prizes though? Because like looking like they seem so outdated now, like an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii or whatever, or like a fucking big like vanity or whatever. Do you think
Yeah.
it's all kind of like I'm still imagining it as like 90s prizes?
Yeah.
For sure. They used to. I was moving like furniture for this guy that like my mom rented apartment from when we were kids. So I would like people would like rent a place room for like fucking like 3 months and like do like a grow up in there, fuck the whole place up or whatever.
Right.
And then we'd have to go in there and clean it up and shit like that.
Yeah.
So we'd do like all these like stupid odd jobs for this guy. And then in one, we had to go into like this attic of this place that like nobody'd been into for like 30 fucking years. And there was like 60s and 70s like appliances. They would all be like a weird kind of color or whatever and all
Yeah.
match like whatever
Yeah.
thing, right? They were like really customizable. And this
Yeah.
one fucking stove thing, it was like it was an oven that you'd kind of like mount up into like your cabinetry or whatever, so you wouldn't sit on the floor. So it was like a big fucking thing or whatever that could be mounted on the wall, and we had to carry it out of this fucking attic, and it was a pain in the ass. I don't even know how they got it up there. So we're like struggling and lifting this fucking thing, and on the very back of it they had like a fucking stamp of like one on The Price is Right in
Oh, really?
1960 something, yeah, or whatever. I can't
That's
remember
so
the
funny.
fucking year, but it was cool because it was like it was like a plate basically that I mean, it must have been like mass produced or whatever, but it
Yeah.
had the like the logo with the fucking with the dollar sign and everything like
Yeah.
that, but it was all like stamped,
stamped, yeah,
yeah,
like
stamped
Right.
plate
to the
style.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was-
Oh,
Probably done in a
cool.
prison.
totally.
Yeah,
100%,
yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fucking. There's just a guy sitting there for fucking 2 cents on the hour, or whatever, make like 50,000 of them shits, and they just like fucking
And that
strap
man's
him to the
name
back of
Yeah.
Was
of
Andy
the shit.
Dufresne.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he didn't fight those guys off that night. Poor Andy.
Yeah.
This is his whole motivation to escape.
Yeah. I would be god awful at Price is Right. I would be so bad at it.
Yeah,
think.
I crack under pressure
Yeah.
of those kind of things, and I have kind of like
Yeah.
a foggy mind and stuff. I would have trouble with
I would
some of the
definitely
things. I mean,
freeze
if
up
I
in the
didn't get
moment.
Plinko, I'd be bummed because I think
Yeah.
I want the yodeling one.
Yodel's good.
Yeah,
yeah.
I want the clay. Yeah.
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 Yodel's good.
Yeah.
Or the punching one.
Oh,
That's a
they
good
do the
one,
punch
too.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I definitely like in any game show situation like that or a Jeopardy, I have such like a hard time like thinking on the spot like that. Something to do with the 8 concussions maybe.
Yeah, that's
but so I think I would freeze up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whereas like something like Survivor is more of a long game and it's such like a social game. I feel like I'm gonna nail it.
Hell yeah. Hell fucking right, man. I'm
Fucking
looking forward to
into CBS fucking
season 51.
season 51. Hey,
what's-
maybe Jonathan will be back.
What's the what the fuck, man? Dude. If you blow that guy on national television, at least like make sure that you send me like the uncut version.
His
I want to.
No, he's circumcised.
Oh yeah, no, I just want to see it. Like I just want to see you get after it, but I don't want to see it all blurred out. I guess like if I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna watch. Like, I want to cry. I don't want it just to be like your blurry face down there and just Jonathan up, his shirt off, just getting a Hummer from a baby.
Whatever you
on.
do, make sure you put on this album when you do it.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, we are at the
Talk
hour.
about burning down the house.
Yeah, Steve Byrne.
Bringing something else home other than $1 million.
The baby of a much handsomer, more fit man.
I was thinking the clap.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways.
I mean, if you gave it back to me, I couldn't even be mad, so it'd be fine.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Get,
I get 2 freebies still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have at her, babe. I gotta wear protection when I fuck around. It's bullshit. You can hit it raw. Anyway.
It's not funny when you joke about it.
No. Hey, Julie. How you doing? What's up, Julie and Tim, to all the listeners out there?
Well, on that note, we this this was such a good album. I was stoked to listen to it. Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air from the next episode we got on deck here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go check it out. Go check out the Talking Heads. Go check out all the fun new wave stuff. It's like Blondie, all those cool CBGB bands. Talking Heads is the shit. Go check out Dave Byrne's solo stuff. Read all his books. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah. Thanks
for tuning in. Thanks for switching to our channel. And catch you on the flippity flop.
Peace.
Peace.